Hey flower friends, welcome back. We are going to take an extra special tour today. This is my friends' garden and they live about 20 minutes down the mountain from me. They're zone 9B. They have a much longer growing season than I do. And it's just spectacular what they've done with a steep hillside. And I wanted you to get a gander at their garden. They have a beautiful vegetable garden. And then their back flower garden is also amazing. The fountain is something I loved. It's made with the bottom dishes of terracotta pots, and you'll see what I mean. So come on along for this video tour of their beautiful garden. Now this is a long video, but trust me, you'll want to stick around for it. If you have to break it up over a couple days. I'll give you that. All right, let's get rolling on this garden tour. So, okay, we're here at the veggie garden. What does your sign say? I had to do it all. She only pointed. Who made that for you? That's a good one.
I should let you go first. Okay, so this first bed on the right, those are the yard-long beans.
Oh.
And there's some nasturtium and stuff in the front. And they are just getting ready to flower. The trellis behind them are Spanish musica, flat Italian beans. And then there is chocolate cherry tomato right there.
Oh,
you can see some tomatoes.
Yeah, let's see that. How do those taste?
They taste pretty good. They have a good acid bite for me, but yet they're still sweet to Ron. He really likes a sweet, low acid, but...
So it's a dual purpose.
Yeah.
They both can enjoy it. Look at these peppers.
Okay, so this year what I did, because I couldn't kill one, there's 2 plants in each.
Oh, so you started them from seed?
I started them from seed, yeah. These are from the original seeds for the Vallecito peppers.
The marchants?
Yeah, marchants. And they do really good in this bed. And then when you get to the back bed over there, I had lettuce. And then I just finished it, and the bell peppers are coming up. But they always burn regardless, so I just keep them under 30% shade.
Yeah, and what's your temperature supposed to be today?
105, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very, and all week. It's supposed to be a record-breaking heat.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, 107 and stuff like that. So it's like.
Oh, you got some blueberries.
Oh.
Aren't they? Oh, in a pot. Mine just don't bloom. I mean, they're growing healthy, but they don't bloom and produce. And I have 2 in there for the cross-pollination. Look at these berries. Aren't those? They look yummy. Have you already been picking?
Sorry.
That's okay.
So there's 3 different plants in here that early, mid, and late berry. And so the robins found them, but Ron's picked, and we covered them for a while, but he's picked quite a few containers of them.
Oh, wow. Yummy. I got to figure out why mine won't produce.
And they are out in the heat here, so.
Yeah, I thought that was why mine weren't, but obviously not. You're much hotter than me. So what is your zone here? USDA zone. It's a 9 something, I know.
Yeah, I want to say 9B.
Okay.
But, woo.
Oh. Hopefully nothing's under that tree. That does look like it needs some work, doesn't it?
Oh, that's a big one that just broke out of there.
Yeah, big limb just fell out of that tree. So yeah, okay, so what do we got up on this level here?
Okay, the next level is there's the red or cherry cosmos. You can see them up there, the fiery orange. And they stay pretty low. So those are all free. They
reseeded? Okay, yeah.
And so we have cucumbers in these 2 wire hoops, cages.
Oh, that's a nice zucchini. It's staying very tame. Is that a particular variety? Or you just cage it?
No, I caged it. And there's a zucchini on there already, I see.
I see it, yeah. It looks good.
And then the next down is patty pans.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm trying 3 different ways. One in a square cage because I had it.
Uh-huh.
And one I'm trying to just stake it up. And the other was just try to corral it so I could walk through there.
Yeah, my zucchinis, some bug ate them. I had them up in front, so I think it's the roly-polies. But I had a bed back by the greenhouse. I thought, oh, I don't want it sprawling everywhere. I did not think to put it in one. I have tons of these cages. So that's what I'm going to do. And being next to the greenhouse, it'll last a little longer once it turns cold because the greenhouse will exude heat at night. Oh, look at that lettuce.
So this is that Batavian.
Oh,
I just call it.
Batavian?
Yeah. And this lettuce has done really good. It's getting ready to bolt. But my goodness, we're at 100 degrees, you know. And I have one more over there that we've been feeding to the goat. And I have one going to seed up here that just came up in the trail all by itself, self-seeded.
I love your
Cannon.
Yeah, your cannon. I like that striped leaves. Yeah. I have this year, I planted some bulbs, or what do they call them? Bulbs, corms, whatever, rhizomes. And I have a nice plant.
Cool. Now you know where to get more.
Oh, yes, please. I do want a division or a corm, whenever. I love you have all these. Now, these are self-seeded, or you put it?
I planted these. These are grown by seed, but
Did you stick the seed in, or did you put the plant in?
Plant.
Okay.
But the 2 little flowers is, again, the self-seeded
Nasturtiums?
the
You say the little
cosmos, but that one almost looks like a marigold, and I've never been able to do marigold. So
I was going to say, I thought it was a marigold.
I know, because see, I've planted these.
Yeah, your marigolds are doing beautiful.
And
now are these the French marigolds? Because the French ones are supposed to help with the nematodes and all of that. It's not any marigold.
The marigold is calendula.
Oh.
And I just...
Oh, yeah. They make...
This one you can see isn't really happy.
Yeah, it must not be getting its water. It's sheer.
I think it's just the angle of the sun that's coming up.
Oh, okay.
But these beans are blooming really good, and pretty soon I gotta, keep them from attacking each other.
Yeah.
This is
borage
that has gone crazy, and I've been chopping it down. They say very medicinal, but
it also says it tastes like, what does it taste like? Honey or something? The leaves?
Enjoy.
Or the flower? Put them on salads.
This plant over here, and you can see there is a bunch of cantaloupe on the bottom. And you can walk in there and kind of see.
Oh, there it is.
And
a little cantaloupe.
Supposed to be like single serving cantaloupe. And then on the second side of the fence is
that a gopher hole?
Yes. Is a regular sized cantaloupe.
Okay, and some beautiful basil.
Basil.
I made a blog post out of how to make pesto with that. Remember you gave me a garbage bag full? A big, huge black garbage bag. That was the best.
And so this roll is all celebrities.
Okay. And beautiful tomatoes. Look in there.
And you can.
This is what happens when you have warmer temperatures than Pam.
And then in this back, you can really see the tomatoes when you get down to the end there.
Oh, yeah.
And so the celebrities, they say they're determinate, so they only go one time. These will produce until it freezes, clear into November, and they will outgrow these cages.
So that's odd for determinate. Mm-hmm. So you wonder how determinate they really are.
Now, these 2 shorties here are Romas.
Okay.
And I've had to really tie them up because they just almost look like they're going to break.
Now, are these determinate Romas? There's also indeterminate.
Yeah, these are determinate.
Okay.
Now, the other 2 plants are early girls.
And look at this monster.
And
she's already outgrown her cage.
And you can see some that are ripening down there. And I've been picking tomatoes, sporadic ones for a couple weeks now.
And there's your Marion berries, right?
Yeah, which you can enjoy to pick.
Have you picked too many? Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous in there?
They are, today is pick day.
Yeah, yummy.
And so what you're walking on is regular time.
Oh, really?
And somebody...
I just bought some. I could have come just dug up some
Yes.
from you.
Yeah. And then I have lemon time.
I have lime time.
And,
Woolly time, lime time.
Yeah.
I want to get turbo time. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
Turbo time is supposed to spread really fast and just be really tough in the full sun. And so what are the tall ferny things?
Okay, that's asparagus.
Oh, wow.
And this year it did lots. And finally, because it's its third or fourth year, I thought, I'm going to quit picking, and I just let it go. And so you can see there's some pretty good stems. And in the trail is the lettuce.
The volunteer?
The volunteer, and I had tons of volunteers, and I thought, no, I'm going to collect the seeds from that one.
So which variety is that?
I want to say it's a Batavian or
Okay.
Batavian. I can't.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
I renamed it.
I do too.
Okay, these peppers here, and you can see I'm letting them turn. These are Hungarian something for paprika.
Okay, didn't you give me some seeds?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I have
And
a plant. Mine is like bitty, bitty, bitty.
This one is, I'm going to let them get all up and then smoke them and then powder it. And because I do go through a lot of paprika, and it was getting expensive.
Ooh, smoked. What do you do them in your Traeger?
Yeah, yeah. And then we have chives, spicy oregano, and then sage.
And you dry those as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe pull the sage out because I mean it flowers pretty, but how much sage can a person use?
Yeah, this is true. So these tomatoes are pretty.
Okay, these tomatoes are Amish paste.
Okay.
And I am going to take and let them go over the cage, but then come over this stake over this way, because just to see what happens.
Because they get that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have the growth habit of sparse leaves.
Okay.
And so and there was another one I had that was like this, and I thought I was really doing something wrong.
But it's just the way they grow.
And then I got one turning there.
Yeah.
And I usually take my garden walk and look for worms.
Oh, yeah, the hornworms?
Yeah, and I'm doing pretty good.
Do you ever come out at night with a black light?
Yeah, when I felt I was out of control. Now, this last tomato is one I grew from seed. It is San Marzano.
I love San
I am
Marzanos.
just amazed at the different growth habits.
So between the Amish paste and the San Marzano, can you really taste a difference?
This is my first year.
Oh, okay.
I've had San Marzano before, but never these.
Because everybody swears by San Marzano, and I've always grown it because everybody says it's better.
Yeah. One thing I found that I didn't realize is, they always say just have a couple of leaders going up. But then if you look on some of these, I'm going to see if I can find one here for you. Right here's a perfect example. So this is a branch of all tomatoes, but yet it's starting to lead out, and so I'm starting to get more and more leaders, and I try to get merciless and chop them.
Well, I guess it's all a case of what you want to do. I mean,
and more basil.
Yeah, lots of nice basil.
If you have time, I'm kind of mentally not. It needs to be picked.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
These are poblanos.
Oh, I love poblanos. Mine never, well, it did grow, but it never really had time to really fully produce.
Here.
Oh, yum. Joanne, you know my cousin Steve and Joanne?
Yeah, I think
baker.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that she just had posted where she stuffed them
Oh,
and then baked them, and boy, did that look good. She's stuffed them with some like a sausage and something.
What I've done the most with these is I'll smoke them, get them ready and uh, take the skin off, clean them, and smoke them on the Traeger, and then freeze them flat,
Uh-huh.
and then just chop off what I need and throw it in. But I've also been dehydrating them
Okay.
and making my own chili powder because I
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
like cumin, so I'll do a mixture of jalapenos, poblanos, because Ron doesn't like the heat, but this has a really good smoky flavor.
Yeah, I like to make chili rellenos with them. And I don't fry them, I bake them.
Okay, this calendula is getting ready to be yanked out. It does not like the heat, and the cucumber beetles and other beetles like it.
Well, maybe it's a good trap crop
I
for
know.
them.
And then down here,
Ooh, is that chard?
Yeah, we have chard and a stevia plant.
Do you make your own stevia with it?
Yeah, you can. I have. And then a parsley. But I don't know if this bed wasn't watering quite right, but the parsley, I'm not having good luck with that.
I have it in my little greenhouse. I call it my bespoke greenhouse, which means handmade.
Oh.
And it's growing well.
This pepper here is the first time for me growing it. I'll have to read the title on the other side for you. Let's see if I can reach it. Giant Marconi, sweet pepper.
Oh.
But it says that it's very smoky flavor and prolific.
Okay. Well, that should be interesting.
Yeah. So
All my peppers are about this tall.
So yeah, and these beans here right next to you are grocery store pintos.
Oh.
And I grew them last year and they didn't get this tall. This year, I think they're liking the soil, but I've discovered they are not bush beans.
Oh.
They are going to be pole beans, and so I did it up as high as I could.
Uh-huh. Yeah, full of blooms. Did you get any beans last year?
Yes, last year I had a lot less beans.
Uh-huh.
Because I planted late after I pulled it, because this was onion bed
Okay.
and garlic, but Gopher ate most of the onions this year, and so I was able to plant a lot earlier. And
Aren't they a rascal? They love onions. I have to, even my alliums I have to put in raised beds.
yeah, so
My ornamental
I
alliums.
got over a quart of beans last year, and I thought, it's an empty bed, I'm going to plant it.
Yeah.
And so I thought, no, I'm going to plant a little bit more. And I think for me right now, besides enjoying the beans, they were very tender, very easy to cook up. But I don't have to mess with these now until they die.
Yeah.
So it's like that's
Plus,
a bed.
they fix nitrogen in the soil. Yeah. Yeah, so great. I'll have my back hillside. I was wanting to put in my alley garden, I'm calling it, back alley garden, because I have roses I threw back there that I didn't have room for.
Yeah.
And I thought I would dig them up when I made a space for them. Those things love it back there. They are so rooted. I'm like, okay, you're staying.
Yeah.
There was no way I was digging those up. But I'm loving that with the squash. That's such a great.
Well, as you can see, pretty soon you can't walk through the trail. Because I have such narrow trails.
Yeah.
Being on the hillside.
But you could also prune back the leaves
Yeah.
and. Yeah, I put them up on the front hillside by the road because I can just let them sprawl and they control weeds.
Let me show you this back thing Ron did for me.
Oh, you have your little secret garden back here.
Yeah. So this is the iris bed that barely gets watered because there's no water to it.
That's one thing about iris. They don't take a lot of water, really.
Or care.
Yeah, and the gophers aren't back here, huh?
No.
Well, the gophers this year is the first year they've been sucking down my irises. You can just watch it just go right down into the ground.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I have several colors missing this year.
But this is my onion and garlic wrap.
Oh, that works really well.
Yeah.
And it's just rebar, huh?
And then
I like his little safety caps there.
yeah, eye level, yeah. And so some of these, I'm getting ready to take him in. I just wait.
Those are some major garlic cloves. Are they elephant garlic or is that just regular?
These are hardneck Spanish Rojas.
Oh, wow.
So it's, a little more.
Mine
heat,
never
I
got
think,
that big. Mine, stayed real small.
Well, you can see some small ones like this one here. But this
That was big for mine.
Oh, so I found that when I drop a little fertilizer, the organic garden fertilizer in there, it helps. But then this bed here was the one I didn't realize the water was turned off on. Or down really low because I was turning it off for the onions.
Okay.
And then forgot to turn it back on.
Good to know.
So
I like your little birdhouse. I like his little
it had
hole.
2 batches of titmouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have titmouse.
We have birdhouses all over and some years they're all full.
That breeze is nice.
Yeah.
That's probably what makes it tolerable here.
Yeah, yeah.
in Vallecito, Bahamacito.
Yeah. I moved my mulch piles up here from down by the garbage can.
Your compost bins?
Yeah, the compost bins because
I didn't even notice them until you pointed them out. Yeah. So they're very unobtrusive here.
And I'm able to water them and take care of them here when they hurt.
Do you have one of those easy turners? It's like a big spiral, and you just stick it down in there, and you just turn it.
No, I let the pill bugs and the sow bugs and the worms do it. It'll be ready for the February, March.
Yeah, I have mine scattered throughout my gardens. What is this little purple plant? Is that a aster?
I think it might be in it. I think something like that. Yeah.
Okay, because I had one similar, and I thought it wouldn't bloom till fall. Fresco purple bacryome. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I gotta find me one of those. That's beautiful.
So this.
I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
These are leftover from last year. I planted them up last year, and so I'm like, cool. They come back.
I love her flagstone path. I don't even know if that's flagstone. What kind of rock is that?
Assorted.
Assorted, dug out of the hillside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearing a path.
So at the I have multiple blue pots graduating to smaller sizes, and we replanted some, but the canna lilies, the 4 o'clocks, and the hollyhocks took up all the sunlight for a couple of them.
And hummingbird's just having a feast up there on that.
And the hollyhocks, I don't know if I'm gonna let those continue. I had the rust problem really bad.
All I do is pull the leaves off because the whole neighborhood at my house, all the hollyhocks have it, and it travels on the wind. And it's like,
and
those have really small leaves. It must be a different variety of hollyhock.
I ripped the others off. I just rip it off.
I do too. And it doesn't seem to bother them a bit.
But I can't think of the name of the flower. It's one of those that looks like little baby petunias.
Calibrachoa?
What?
Calibrachoa?
Yes. That's what that dead plant there is. And that's what the dead plant over here is. It just newly potted, and the soil was just draining really fast, the garden potting soil, but also the heat.
Yeah.
It just didn't take the heat.
Yeah, mine do well, I found, over by my little bespoke greenhouse, because nothing else would bloom there. And I thought, okay, it's not getting quite enough sun. It gets a little bit of morning sun.
Yeah.
I put those there and they thrive. So I think they just like the cooler. So what is this pink flower? What is this?
This is 4 o'clock.
Oh,
so
4 o'clock.
It's starting to close up.
Okay. Yeah, I had thrown some seeds out of those and I didn't get any. Because Gallup, when I lived in Idaho, she just threw them out like crazy and they just came up everywhere.
Yeah, they'll come up good for me. They self-seed readily. Now, the other thing that I've had come up, you see that little snapdragon next to the miracle? I've had those self-seed in my veggie garden. And so I'm like, okay, then we just transplant them. But
I have a snapdragon and it's 3 feet tall.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, and it did so well. It lived over winter. I didn't expect that. And it's just blooming pretty. But so your pathway leads up to what?
It will follow up there, and then we have fruit trees up there, and a bird bath
Okay.
behind the shade cloth, and then we have a bird feeder up here. And I cut it down just to sunflower seeds, so that I don't get a lot of the sparrows. You know, I try not to get any of that type of bird. So right now I'm feeding dove and quail and titmouse. We can watch the wave of the birds migrating. So it's, with the heat, it's kind of quiet.
Yeah, plus with having the birds go through, they help take care of a lot of insects.
Yes.
Look at your, okay, agapanthus.
Yeah.
I almost bought one the other day. It was a dark blue,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know how well they do at my house. I should buy one just to test.
When we first started the yard, like years and years ago, I would drive through parking lots and see what flowers were doing pretty good, and I figured if they lived there, I could probably grow them.
It's a good idea. Look, beautiful. Now, I never used to be a fan of daylilies, and I'm just loving your two patches. I have one, I think it's this color, or very similar, that Carol Hurley gave me.
We used to have a tree, and you can see where that blue bowl is right up there with the petunias
Oh,
in
yeah.
it. And so we cut that down last fall. And so this
Area
is
gets a
gonna
lot
be-
more sun.
Oh, and it's like a whole different garden up here now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, those petunias do okay in the heat in that shallow of a bowl?
Well,
We'll find out.
Ron has deadheaded them and cut them back, you know, so that they'll come up again.
Right.
But they were a big mass up there.
Okay.
It was. And then behind that, he's planted a New Zealand flax, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
And so it lost its bigger leaves, but it's getting pretty lush with new growth.
Yeah. I had bought a couple of those because I thought they were so pretty
Uh-huh.
and rather tropical looking to me, but I had brought them home and then we had a hard freeze, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
it just shocked them to death.
Yeah. And then all of these geraniums are from Lowe's Bargain Rack.
Don't you love that rack?
Yes. In fact, there's a couple azaleas and a few other things that we got, and it was.
Look at the ant fishing. Oh. So what's this little plant that's, I see it down
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Is that thing kind of a bully?
Originally, it was this one here called Kaleidoscope. You can see the red.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
that. But then with the heat, and this is probably 10 or more years old,
Okay.
and it just reverted to the natural color. So
All right.
I can't
Some of the
remember.
variegated ones do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the, is it Euonymus? Euonymus at the Kingdom Hall.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's starting to revert. And the only way to turn it back is to cut back all the, what's reversion. So are these Bidens, or is that a particular type of cosmos?
I think that's a threadleaf coreopsis.
Threadleaf coreopsis. Okay.
So
Because I can't half the
that's your
time
step.
tell the difference between Bidens and
Yeah, I think
those
that's
type
a-
coreopsis. Threadleaf coreopsis. I see. I haven't
thread.
heard one. Thread coreopsis.
Yeah, let me see if I still have the. Ron started asking me to leave the labels in them, but
I think that's a
Yeah,
great
it is.
idea, unless you do a garden chart. All
and
of these
believe
are
it or not,
dishes.
I have a bullfrog that lives in there.
I have pollywogs in my pond. Coreopsis, hot paprika, sizzle and spice series. I don't think it's focusing, but that is interesting. Did you get that at Murphy's too, or?
I don't know.
There's always something interesting, and usually coreopsis are so tough.
Yeah.
So you got a spare little tree coming up there?
Yes. So these two dogwoods, when we cut the Zelkova out, we planted two, I'm going to call them red flowering dogwoods. And then this is a small white dogwood that's
Reseeded itself?
reseeded.
You never know. Sometimes they cross-pollinate.
Yeah, so we'll end up moving it or keeping it down as a bush.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And there's an angel wing there, and these, all of these pots, I stick in the front yard underneath my deck, and just, they survive, except for the coleus. They come down, and I just replant that, but
Reseed, yeah, start new
yeah,
seeds.
then you have the Peruvian lilies, which
Yeah.
never remember.
Alstroemeria.
Yes.
That's a pretty color. So, wow, mine got singed, and I have it in morning sun, afternoon shade, and it's looking really sad. I wonder what
Yeah.
I'm doing wrong.
Ron, this spring, chopped that plant in two, and it never missed a beat. Both halves flowered like crazy. It's just about done there.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
anytime he chops another one,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wants to give it away, you
Yeah,
know.
I'll let you know. So
I'll take it.
we have a spearmint there in the pot, and we have a chocolate mint over here in this pot, which is, you can see they're needing their water, and it should start watering here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's going to
and
get
these-
toasty.
The
More agapanthus up there underneath your tree.
and those
That's a beautiful
little-
tree. That trunk is so architectural, is that what they call it?
I can't think of these green leaf, big leaf things now. I'm so bad about it.
Oh, that's okay. They're beautiful.
It starts
The name
with
is,
an A.
mm-hmm.
But anyway, those were on the bargain rack.
Okay.
The silver dollars, which that one is getting a little fried there, those are probably 10 years old, and they've just been divided and stuck up there. And
Okay, that's what they're called.
yeah,
You're talking about that one right there at the foot of the rock.
yes,
Because I have one in a pot. It comes up so beautifully, and I think, what is this thing?
yeah, it's
And it's tougher than nails.
yeah. I can't remember the
Particular
official Latin
variety.
name or whatever, but it was called a silver dollar.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of times you look up the common name
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you'll find out. But those are
And-
beautiful coleus. I usually start coleus and have great success, and this year they came up. They were only about a quarter-inch tall, and they just stopped. And they wouldn't do it. I repotted it. It's like, that was it. But I did have an issue with spider mites in my greenhouse this year.
You
So,
can see the bumblebees really like that flower, and I thought, let it flower. Maybe it'll self-seed everywhere. I don't know.
they do for a lot of people, and you've got
Yeah.
it warm enough. It probably would do great.
And then we have, you can see some of these dogwoods, like up there under there is a dogwood, and we've had these at this height for probably 10 years.
Yeah,
So,
my cousin Kirsten, she lives
Yep.
over there off 6 Mile.
okay.
Or down there, well, in that one neighborhood down there, where you go by Family Fitness,
Yeah, yeah.
up in there.
6 Mile, uh-huh.
Anyway, she went to a nursery, and she was asking for dogwoods, and they said, "Where are you? What's your zone?" And she goes, "Oh, it's 9B." And they go, "Oh, you can't grow dogwoods." She goes, "My neighbor has a whole field of them."
Yeah.
And a lot of people get stuck on zones and not realizing it's your local growing conditions as much as anything.
Yeah, when I looked up that zone thing, it said that I should be able to start my tomatoes and everything in February.
Yeah, I know. You
I
tried
don't
that,
even
didn't you?
start that. I don't even do that. I'll start the seeds, but
Yeah.
I think this year I planted them April 15th. One year I did do April 1st. And but that's pushing it
Yeah.
because I'll have to cover every now and then.
Well,
and-
that's the difference of the 9B of Stockton and the 9B up here
Yeah.
in the foothills.
Yeah.
Because up here we still get those late freezes.
yeah.
And I just love your fountain.
It-
Always have.
It makes it so calming and cool here. And I'm going to turn these lights on for you.
Has
just
a
so
little-
you can see.
Well, it comes out of a pipe up there. You see how the creeping Jenny just gets going? And you can let it go as you please. The lights. So,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Those are solar lights on the pond. But I told my husband I wanted a chandelier, so I come out here one day and did it. And then I've had these other LEDs that are on the fence. And so this place lights up at night.
It's surprising. Are those ones also solar?
No, these are regular plug-in.
I bought some cheap solar ones just because to put along my front fence in the arbor. And as you say, it lights up. I didn't think in the winter, even in the winter, the solar panel would be covered with snow and they would still light up.
Enough. Yeah.
And I just loved it, especially when we don't have a light out there. So it made it great. There was enough light to get through there at night. But it looks really pretty against the snow out on the fence and on the arbor.
So there's one plant here that looks like grass coming up. And I can find the name for you there. But it's called the Angel's Fishing Rod.
Oh, really?
And we had it in another place and it survived, but never did anything. And this looks like it might like this place. And so I'm really curious to see if it blooms at all. We have crocosmia up above behind the canna lilies. And it's not really happy in that spot. So
I say, my crocosmias are almost ready to bloom.
Yeah. Last year when the tree first cut down, but the canna lilies I think are overshading it, and so.
Yeah. Just to see how you could just treat a hillside. I think those logs are great. I was thinking of something for my back alley garden, which is of course on a hill.
These logs are the original fence posts in this area, so they're probably 100 plus years old. And because we took them down, we had the old fence that was falling down along the road, and so we took it down and saved them and thought.
And they've lasted. Wow. It's like the driftwood I got off the beach down at Maloney's 20 years ago. And I used them as a border for a flower bed, and they haven't rotted
I wonder if
even.
that was cedar.
They haven't rotted at all. And I'm like, I got to get more of this because it looks so, and it's rounded and smooth. And I thought, oh, I need a boat. Go down there. Oh, this is beautiful.
It's very peaceful here in the evening. Very peaceful because we get the shade because of the neighbors' trees. We get the shade really early. And
and with the fountains and all the birds, the road noise is like minimal.
Yeah. And this is usually commute traffic. And so when that stops, and even like around 5 o'clock, we are already cooling down here.
Yeah, I really like this fence. It's very different. I'm sure Ron built it.
Yes. Yeah. That's where it says she pointed, I did it all.
Yes. I got to get a close-up of that sign. Yeah. Now is that, what is that bush up there?
The kind of gray-green, it is a pineapple guava.
Wow.
With a live oak coming out of it that we've tried to dig up.
Because at first when I was looking at the silvery leaves, I was thinking manzanita, but I thought, no, that's not a manzanita.
Yeah, the manzanita is the dark green stuff that's low. It's an emerald carpet. But, yeah. And then there's some strawberries behind that upper dogwood that's on the upper
And do you
log.
get any berries with your birds?
Yeah. We actually had a couple handfuls, but those berries are from a 60-year-old plant.
Oh, wow.
So, and they were really, really tasty.
Oh, I might want to try those if you ever get some runners.
Yeah, and so we're like, let it run, whatever,
I use them as a ground cover up in my upper bed. I just let them run because they're so easy to pull up where you don't want them. Yeah. But you get berries, plus it pulls in the birds on the ground level.
Oh, yeah.
So, did I tell you I found my first Japanese beetle this year on my plants? Oh. I haven't seen another one.
Yeah,
so,
that's one thing I hope with me feeding the birds, they repay me by getting the bugs.
I would love to let my chickens free range, but I got a big old fat coyote and he looks healthy coming around every day. So.
Yeah, that's one thing I have the cat and I always worry about that. You see the sun's coming up?
Yep, coming over. It's going to be toasty now. This is the front entrance. Oh, I didn't notice you had a crepe myrtle right in front. I've been looking.
The one
all
over
the different.
here isn't blooming yet.
All the This is just a flower bed that they let go and do its thing. And they weed it here and there. So is this a Gerbera daisy up here?
What was that?
Is that a Gerbera daisy? Gerbera daisy?
Yes. They have bloomed like crazy.
I used to grow them in Stockton and they were just gorgeous, but I can't, grow them up there or they don't last for me. Look at your glads.
And we pull them out like weeds.
The gladiolas? Oh, pass them along, girl.
Okay.
Because the gophers eat mine.
Oh, and then like here, this is what I mean about the crepe myrtles. We just keep digging up. And that one was from a great big one. It's a different one than that.
Oh, is it? I was going to say, I was just thinking of keeping mine in a large pot. I got some of those huge pots at Costco. I like this coreopsis down here. I'll have to get me some seeds.
Pretty good. Take as many as you want.
Yeah.
Ron pruned this one heuchera back and
Getting some seeds there.
too much.
And all the verbena, Bonniransis. Yeah, where was I seeing? I just saw the seeds. I was going to order them and test out the lollipops. They're not supposed to get any taller than 2.5 feet.
See, that's what I'm continually now looking for is because
The dwarfs?
they do this and the sprinkler will go through the verbena at least, but not the coneflowers. And
What I do is I cut those little the cheapy tomato cages. And I cut the tall legs off and I stick them around them when they're little, and they seem to disappear into the.
Yeah.
Also, my tomato cages, some of them that got smashed by the bear stepping on them, I cut them down and.
Right.
So I like
had a
these
couple
little.
of 'em. Now in here, you can see these are starting to get powdery mildew.
Oh yeah.
But this is a petunia. Then right behind the petunia is African daisy. But then
Oh, you got a pretty penstemon right there.
yeah, and then behind the penstemon is that one that is a bright harsh yellow to me that you see that gets great big.
Oh.
I mean, like 3 feet.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what those
Yeah.
are called. And then you got some pretty phlox back there.
That phlox, we used to have a deer come in here, and she would tiptoe, eat that down, and then
Yes, they love phlox. I know. Now, have you ever tried the Proven Winners phlox? There's different ones, and they bloom earlier. They have them down there, and they're 20% off this week. Down there at the hilltop, and there's one. I just bought the white one. In fact, was editing the video last night.
there might be some of that gem up here. You can grab some of the seeds.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
But,
I've been wanting some of that.
I don't know.
These
Oh,
pretty
this one looks-
gems.
I don't know. Is that ripe enough?
I don't know. Since I'm unfamiliar with the
I know,
seeds of those. No, it's not. It's not
okay.
pollen free.
I'll try and remember.
Well, when you go to Deadhead, just Deadhead right into a baggie, a sandwich bag, and
There you go.
look at these beautiful gladiolas that they throw away.
Yeah, I did not plant that here. Look at
So
this.
you think a gopher's moving them?
Yeah.
Or you think seeds? Do you think?
Gopher.
Oh, there's another.
Okay.
Oh,
See
something.
this plant right here?
Oh, yeah.
Have no idea what it is. And then the one right behind the nasturtium. Have no idea what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, you're just waiting to see it
Right,
flower.
We've had multiple different flowers in here, but I'm like cringing that it's that primrose. I got to do some weed. Baby snaps that are coming up, and then I do have some violas I think coming up because we did have
Oh,
some.
yeah. There's a bunch of little violas.
This one here that's showing bad roots is a native penstemon. It was a really pretty deep blue. In fact, here. You can
Yeah, I
almost
have
see
the
it.
one that. Oh, yeah. I have that one. Foothills something penstemon.
Yeah.
Someone
and
was just asking me about it. Oh, there, you got some flowers on that one.
there's something
That one
else
looks more
different.
purple, doesn't it? Is it the same color?
This is a different one, but I was just.
Oh,
here.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're real pretty.
I think I had some seeds that are similar, called milkmaids or something like that.
Yeah.
I love the white. So, and these are solar.
Yeah, those are solar.
Oh, those are
And
pretty.
I actually use them as night lights when the power goes off.
Okay.
perfect in the bathroom and in the kitchen.
Yeah, bring them in.
I haven't been out here a while. This is the hot side. And
Yeah, I could see.
these were all
Just
put there.
They just come up. Look at the butterflies are just thick out here. They're loving this area. I know that the verbena is a real butterfly magnet at my house anyways.
Then we have hummingbirds. Oh, there's another dragon. Dragon swallowtail, I should say. And then
Yeah, they've been thick
on
out
the
here.
back side is tons of windflowers.
Okay. Yeah, those are real pretty in spring. How early do yours bloom?
Well, let's see. It did come up earlier than this, but I don't get out on this side of the thing to look at it.
Getting that butterfly. Okay. More penstemon. That seems to be a tough one. That's a different color than I have, so I'll have to get some seeds from you. Because obviously it's a tough plant. Oh, look at more up there. Lots of that penstemon. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. The end was the front of their house, and it's kind of an area that they've planted tough, hardy plants, and it kind of is let do its thing in the summer because it's a very hot spot, even early in the morning. So, yeah, and it was amazing the amount of butterflies that were flitting around on that part. It's just a beautiful area. It is a very warm area, but they catch a breeze through their little area there for a good portion of the day, and it makes it much more comfortable to be. Like today, it's probably in the hundreds. They'll be 10 degrees at least warmer than me on any given day. And we are into the mid-90s today, so I'm sure they're like 100, 105. So, yeah, it's been a hot week down there, but that's that area. That is that area. And if I moved from here for any reason, that really is one of the places I would love to be, because that area, as I was growing up, my cousin lived there and I'd spend a lot of time there, and it was just a neat place to be. I love my little neighborhood, I love my little house, I love my gardens, but sometimes I really wish I had a longer growing season. So, that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back. Sorry, I'm choking. One moment. I will be back to share many things. I have been pulling out a few plants in the artist garden that weren't working for me. I'm already loving that. I put them back in the, I'm going to call it sort of back alley garden, the back lane garden, and all of that. So yeah, stuff's coming along here, and I will have the garden tours for the second week of July coming up as well, and you can see the changes there. I'm glad you all are enjoying those, because I am really, it's tough. It is to keep putting them out, but I am doing this for me as much as for you, because I can really see how things are, what's blooming together, what's not really getting it for me. And sometimes seeing it on film, I guess on video, it gives you a better perspective than in real life. So there's that. So come on back for all that's coming up. I still am working on my rose video, and that'll be coming too. And then I'm going to have a clematis video for you. Okay, I think that's all coming up that I have in mind so far. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.